Welcome to Dine Combine, where the world of wines unfolds right before your eyes. Today we are here with Julian Borg, who is a mayor of Siġġiewi, and tonight it's a Festa Għeneb. Għeneb in Maltese means grapes. So it's a nice name for the wine festival, featuring local grapes, local wine. We're going to be speaking about wine tonight, about grapes, about local producers, local food, everything local, and about Siġġiewi and history about the city. Good afternoon, Julian.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here in Siġġiewi.
Thank you for having us here. Julian, what does Festa Għeneb means for Siġġiewi and its people?
First of all, Festa Għeneb has been there for over 15 years now. With the first activities were more experimental, so understanding the local produce, which is the Għeneb, which is the grape, basically. Along the years, it has evolved into something bigger. Siġġiewi is the main producer of grapes in all Malta. Okay, so we started off with 500 tumolo of land, of vineyards. Nowadays there is a little bit less, obviously, because people also change sometimes. For example, they change to olives, some olive groves, but it's still the main producer of grapes in Malta. And I think we are proud that we organize this event, and we can recognize not just the wine, but we recognize the grape. We have a number of wine festivals around Malta, which are good, but they give grace to the wine. In Siġġiewi, we give grace to the grape. Then there are obviously a number of byproducts. For example, wine is a byproduct of the grape, but there are other things which you can do with the grape. So you can use the grapes to basically cook with the grapes. Tonight we're going to have a session using the grapes for live cooking. You can have, for example, the raisins, which are a byproduct also of grapes. Okay, apart from wine, you have the Grape, which is also another type of drink which you can use for the grapes. And then you can have other, for example, the leaves of the grapes. In other parts of the Mediterranean, like Greece, for example, and Turkey, they use it a lot for cooking. Okay, the rice stuff, then, for example, the leaf. So you have a number of byproducts whereby you can use the grape as a product for this celebration, for this produce.
We will have a square coming alive tonight. What is making you most proud about this tonight? How much work was involving you, the local council, and the people here in Siġġiewi in actually working around this festival, creating this festival from its infancy here?
I think the two things that make me proud tonight, first of all, is the participation of the local people within this festival. So you have the local volunteers who actually have been working for 4 or 5 months preparing for tonight. Okay, so for one evening you have a 5 months preparation, but you have also the local organizations basically having stands. Most of them having stands related to food. Okay, so instead of outsourcing the food to other companies, other restaurants, etc., we have outsourced the food to the individual volunteers and the NGOs in Siġġiewi, so they can be basically part of this celebration. The second part, which makes me proud this year, is that it's the first time that we brought on board foreign partners. And tonight, and you will have the opportunity to meet them. We have 3 foreign partners who are basically a group from Noto. So vineyards from Noto, vineyards from Taormina, and the vineyards from Galicia in Spain, together with partners from the local industry. So apart from the main wine producers, which are the big companies, the companies which we see on most of the bottles we see in restaurants or in supermarkets, we have a number of small local wineries which are also exhibiting here and doing the wine tasting here. So this is something we are very proud of, those two things basically.
We'll try to make sure to visit them tonight, all of them, if possible. When it comes to the idea cooking with the mayor, how did that come about? And so, do you have any culinary skills, or you're just going to, let's say, improvise tonight?
This has been brought about, first of all, it started as a joke. And like many things, they start, as a joke, and we said, look, there is the local council, there is the mayor, who people think or they can think that is someone who is special, who's the mayor of the city, but the mayor is just a normal resident within Siġġiewi like other residents, and we need to give the personification of the person, the simple person also in the village. I'm going together with me a number of people. For example, there is an assistant head from the local primary school who will be with us to cook. There is the archpriest who will be with us to cook, and then a number other people from other NGOs which are involved in Siġġiewi who will cook this together. So the idea is not to have the perfect dish. First of all, we want to cook a dish. I'll leave it for later as a surprise, but a dish using grapes. So it has to be a dish using grapes, but it will be also an opportunity for people to come, see us together, cook together, you know, cutting some onions together and putting the main ingredient, like I saying, some rice on top of the oven, and then putting some on top of the fire, then putting the grapes inside and doing this recipe, which will also be assisted by a professional chef. So your question about my expertise of cooking, I will be controlled also by a chef. So
I'm going to ask him this for sure. What role does the local agriculture, especially grapes production, which sort of role it plays today in today's time in Siġġiewi?
So
it's still very heavy, like in the past times.
The role of agriculture, as in Siġġiewi, but is also nationwide, and is also in also most of the countries, especially also European countries, there are a number of challenges. Okay, so the new world of technology, the new world of AI, the new world of computer, digitalization, finance has taken a lot of children from farmer families into these new worlds, and therefore, whereby before you had the father passing the skills and the land to the children and they continue the produce, nowadays you have a number of children who are doing something different. So to keep agriculture sustainable, to keep agriculture going, it is a challenge, but something which we have in Siġġiewi. I am also very proud of the fact that we are surrounded by a big rural area, is that there are a number of fields which are not government fields rented to farmers. You have a number of fields which are actually owned by the families, and over generations these fields are transferred to these children. And even if the children work as accountants, lawyers, people in the finance, maybe nurses, etc., okay, all these workers are not related to agriculture, you still have the sort of, they are obliged also with respect to their family to go there in the evening,
so love
in
for
the weekend.
Grapes, love for picking up the grapes.
Yeah, for the grapes and also other produce. Okay, so you have also other you know, the normal. There are a lot of families doing small areas of potatoes, small areas of other vegetables, all right, like peas or daily needs basically. It's not that they're doing a whole tumul or two tumuli of potatoes, for example, okay, or tomatoes, but they're doing a small portion of each to keep their family tradition going, apart from the grapes, obviously.
Apart from having organic and local produce.
Yeah, and it continues going like that. So this is something which we are proud of. It's not easy to keep, but we are doing all possible to have everything in place for the future.
This event blends food, families, tradition and faith. So what message does it say to the visitor, a shortest possible message?
So basically, this is going to be sort of a conclusion of all the points that I mentioned. Also in our official press release, we didn't say we're celebrating only grapes. Okay, but grapes, if you celebrate only grapes, it's something which does not make sense. It's something in a bottle on its own, and basically it's inexistent. The grape needs to be celebrated in other aspects. So you have the social aspect, you have also the agricultural aspect, and we are also connecting today's Festa Għeneb also to the religious aspect, because the religious aspect, the spiritual, let's say more spiritual than religious, spiritual aspect is and was part of the social life. In fact, something which we are doing today inside the parish church, we're holding an exhibition featuring a lot of 17th century artifacts, with not only just exhibits which are spiritual from the church, but a number of artifacts which have grapes as part of the design. Okay, for example, the
Shield,
the
coat of arms.
Yes, the coat of arms, which have grapes, for example. Okay, the clothes, let's say, that the archpriest puts on also during mass, for example, with grapes on them, or else wine related. And so it's something that we need to keep this culture ongoing. As then we said also in our press release, it needs to be passed from one generation to another. So basically, it will keep on going, not only with my generation, but it has been the previous generation, also in the next generations.
I'm gonna summarize it in grapes connects families and friends. What is the future and expectations of the grape production in Siġġiewi and surrounding? Do you have any indications that you are doing something new, something, let's say, innovative in this field? And how are you going to tackle this, let's say, outsourcing of the young people who are not anymore interested in producing grapes?
I think tonight we're starting, and hopefully it is the start of something special. As I said, this is the first time there are also international partners with us. Okay, not to bring international wine taking over Maltese wine, not to bring foreign people from the agriculture to take over. But it's the partners, that's why you are a partner. It's a friendship, it's a way of working together, and we want to start going to their countries, and we want them to come in our countries, and together we share our experiences. For example, with Noto, which is the closest partner which I have worked so far, they have something which is similar. They have the climate, which is similar. They have the changing agriculture, which is similar. They have the sea. They are surrounded also by the sea, which is similar. They have the same sort of temperature, which is similar. So why not learn together to keep this ongoing? And this will also help also the younger generations to keep motivated. Because when you are closed in your own field, without meeting other, for example, people across the board, you will think that you're alone, that the problems that you have are alone. But when you change this, and when you go to other countries, you speak to other youth, and you will find the same passion, the passion of the grape, the passion of the food, the passion of the wine. Over there, you can basically change this perspective and hopefully make it as something interesting, not as something that you have to do by force at your field. But you go at your field, you harvest the grapes, you take care of your vineyard, so basically for their children afterwards, like their fathers did with them, and you can basically pass it on, and this nice culture of wine, this nice culture of grapes will continue going.
We need to keep it alive.
Yes, for sure.
Will you maybe singing a tune of Anna tonight?
Oh, that is a nice question. We'll have a folk, as maybe you read, we have a folk stage with Anna. It would be nice. It wasn't planned, but maybe we'll try and take a glimpse.
We have cooking with Mayor. Can we have singing with Mayor?
Yeah, maybe this year. If not this year, it could be an interesting thing for next year, but you gave me some good ideas. It's very good, yeah. I will be interested. If not tonight, the other event.
Okay. Thank you, Julian. Thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
We'll meet afterwards for a glass of wine.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Good evening, how are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. It's a busy evening for you guys. I snatch you for a few moments from your
It's okay, not
team.
a problem.
So, Karl, I spoke already with Julian, and he said you are the man to speak about wine pairing, food preparation, and Maltese food for tonight. So,
Yes.
Let's shoot quickly so you can go back to work.
Okay, no
Then
problem.
we'll have a glass of wine after the show, though.
Not only one.
Definitely.
Never only one.
Somebody mentioned bottles, but you know, I'm always worried about that. So, Chef, tell us what are you cooking tonight during this live show?
Practically, as you said perfectly, we're going to be pairing the food with the wine. Obviously, the wine is going to be the show. I'm not going to go over with some really big, massive taste to take over the wine. It's never like that. Something that I always try to tell people, when you're pairing, keep the food a bit lower as in taste and let the wine flourish. So today what I've prepared are a couple of different Maltese foods. We have bigilla, but not served just as a bigilla, it's in a dumpling. And the dumpling is an Asian dumpling.
Maltese food with a twist, as you mentioned.
Always. I always do everything with a twist. I also live with a twist if possible. So besides bigilla, we have also some very nice beef, which I have cooked for over 24 hours. And this beef is with a lot of spices and it's going to be served.
So
with
like a
nice
big
red.
stew? Sort of, huh?
It's a kind of, in fact, it's called a stuffat, but it's not a stuffat with a lot of sauces, you know? We have to keep in mind that people are walking with one hand, and so not a lot of sauces dripping. There's also a beautiful pork. Pork is like a pulled pork, but Maltese style with a lot of fennel. There's Maltese sausage, but it's been dried. So everything is Maltese, but served
Adapted for the finger food, for walking distance.
For sure.
So Karl, do you think that Maltese food is finally getting the spotlight it deserves in Malta?
Practically, I don't believe that the Maltese food is where it should be, even internationally. I think we have some great dishes, great flavors. People come to Malta and they love these dishes because of their simplicity in the way they're cooked and in the finished product, where we are cooking and explaining what is this product, what is this ingredient, what is this dish. And when we're doing that, it's very simple. But what we should do as a chef, and me, I am part of the problem, because when I was younger, I didn't promote, I didn't get into the Maltese cuisine. I just wanted to be something totally different than what I am
And
today.
have fun.
Of course, as a young chef, you know. But 10 years ago, I arrived back in Malta and I said, this is something I want to do. I want to promote, even in events, for example, you know, even if it's a pastizzi, I do different fillings. And even like today, one of my dishes today is a bigilla served in a nice Asian dumpling. So it's totally there, the taste is there, but the end case is different. So even I say in a couple of years, definitely we're going to be somewhere where we should be, for sure. But this is up to us, the chefs, working together and understanding that we don't need to keep these dishes as they were always, you know, keep them, respect them.
Refresh them.
Elevate, refresh, I like that word. Refresh, perfect.
Karl, what makes seasonal and local produce, what Malta is producing, basically essential to your cooking? You depend a lot from the local produce. I mean, especially seafood. So
I would like more that, as we're talking today, that even people that are supplying us, you know, they get further into what the real ingredient is. And there is a lot of there are a lot of people that are slowly getting there. But I think we believe we need more. We need more farmers that understand that this was like it used to be 60, 70 years ago, rather than, let's just do it quickly because it's quicker. When we do that, we're not doing it with passion.
you don't pay attention to the produce.
No, the produce is very, very important. Yes.
If you describe your approach to the cooking, especially local food, in 3 words, can you do it?
In 3 words, I would say simple, honest, culture. I think there is a lot of culture in our food, and culture should be part of those 3 words.
Which local dish, by your opinion, deserves a recognition on the national level? Deserves to be the first dish that it's served internationally, and to say, okay, this is a local Maltese dish, it needs to be served everywhere else.
For me, the dish that should be everywhere else, and I'm presenting it on one of the platters today, is sfinja. So simple, it's a dough, near savory donut. It's, as I said, culturally as well, even geographically, because the north of Africa, they have something similar. Sicily as well has something similar as well. And it's just so simple to make. Fried, everybody likes fried stuff. I also presented in London last May. I was there for a food presentation. I said, this is a dish that should come back. The English have something similar as well. They have fish and chips. You know, it's in a batter. This is a battered
Produce.
donut which has been fried. It's got anchovies. It's got an amazing array of different herbs inside, which I did today. And then you serve it with a nice sauce, whatever that sauce could be. It could be an elevated sauce, just a little nice emulsion, you know. So that is my dish.
What one local ingredient that completely is underrated in local wine pairing industry? Maltese local ingredient.
Maltese local ingredients. Wow. One ingredient I'm using a lot myself, and I use it a lot because I love
One
it myself.
produce, I mean, it can be a cheese, you know, whatever.
I love using a lot of fennel. And today as well I have a dish which is the pork, and it's with a fennel, so a lot of fennel, the fennel seeds, also the actual fennel, which we have a lot in the streets. We don't use it a lot, Italians use it a lot. And finocchio, the ball. I can't understand why we don't have so many dishes with it, because you go to the roads during this time, it's full of what we call a busbis.
Do you do some specialties with it?
I like to pair it with potatoes. I like to pair it with pork. This is a dish I remember my
that
mom.
enriches the pork, actually.
Yes, and it's also, as we said, a tradition. And my mom, she does the Sunday dish with patakal corn. You know, in the oven, you have a nice burnt caramelized potato, and you're always going to find a busbiza, a fennel seed on top, and that is where it's an explosion.
Even
of
in
taste,
potatoes, though.
you know? Exactly.
No, I had the luck to be present in these Sunday lunches in Malta.
There you go. You know what I'm
And
talking about.
I know 2 or 3 servings are less.
Yes.
Or too little for me. So, talking about Siġġiewi, is there some local dish that is particular for Siġġiewi region, for part of? I'm sure that you're cooking a lot with people from Siġġiewi that you know local produce very well. Is there something that is local for in Siġġiewi?
Definitely, I would say the jibejnit, which we are serving as well. When it comes to jibejnit, personally, I don't like doing too much with jibejnit because it's what the farmer has done as a produce and is presenting. I don't believe I should recreate something too much. It's like a mozzarella, you know. A mozzarella for me is a beautiful dish on its own. I ate one yesterday, it was half a kilo. I ate it on my own, you know. Jibejnit is the same. I don't like fiddling too much with the jibejna. So that I think is very much Siġġiewi. Another dish that I used to cook with a friend of mine from Siġġiewi and has passed away since was a stuffat tal-arnit. The octopus stew close to our lapsi, and he used to go get it himself.
Get fresh
you know,
octopus.
fresh, and he used to cook it, used to do an amazing arnita stuffat tal-arnit.
Amazing. This is something I need to try though.
I do pastizzi ta' stuffat tal-arnit. Unfortunately, not today, but
If one of tonight's dishes was a wine, choose one that you're doing tonight and choose which Maltese wine you would put it with.
all of them. All of them.
At least, let's say. Choose one, just for sake of, don't mention the producer, just mention the grape variety.
Okay, I will definitely.
What would you pair with Girgentina, for example, just to pull your...
With a Gargantina, I like to pair the busbis we talked about. That is definitely going to be a nice merge.
Okay. You are cooking with the mayor, so you do a test run.
No, that's going to be very interesting, but it's going to be fun.
Is he more help or a hazard in the kitchen?
Nino, it's not just one mayor; it's 4 mayors. So I have to be entertaining, and we're gonna have a lot of
We
fun.
have a lot of wine, so don't worry.
But
about
we're
that.
not cooking Maltese.
What are you cooking?
We're cooking a paella, which for me, I know it's not Maltese, for me it's the dish I love to cook the most, because there's, as we talked, there's a lot of culture in it. You know, when I say culture, people might not understand as much, but culture are the stories, you know, and
It can be adapted to Malta. We are surrounded by the seafood, you know, fresh sea produce, amazing prawns.
But the one we're doing today is a chicken and Maltese sausage. That's the Maltese twist inside. So
Good.
not just the Spanish, but also a twist with the Maltese sausage inside.